Should Pam Bondi be fired? Welcome to the conversation, Kimberly. We're going to do our intro now, so I need everybody to tap the screen. Also, at the end of the show, for everyone watching, we are doing a fundraiser, so we will have more about that towards the end of the show, so stick around and listen to that. Here we go.
Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this panel show are those of the individual speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of this channel, its affiliates, sponsors, or production team. This content is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised. We encourage respectful dialogue and critical thinking around the topics discussed.
Party. Why I like the new party? Number one, it's a group of people that's on a panel. We all have differences, but we all basically still come together at the end of the day. The new party for me is about unity. The new party for me is about educating people to the truth, letting people know what's been going on in our country. With that being said, shout out to the new party, man. We're going to keep it going with y'all.
Welcome to the new party, everybody. So, guys, for those of you now just joining the chat, thank you for watching. Please hit the like button. Shout out to Pizza. Shout out to John. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to Pretty Things. We appreciate you guys for coming. Everybody has questions about what FBA means. It means Foundation of Black American. You can start the live over to see what we talked about, but we are going to switch gears and talk about Pam Bondi, guys. So, as we kick it off, I'm going to play this clip as a recap to catch us up to speed with the ICE protests and attacks. Let's see what the last week has been like.
Get out of my way! Move! 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 Get out! Come here!
Rather be at home smoking weed. Yes.
But why can't you be smoking weed right now?
Because goddamn Nazis! Goddamn Nazis!
And how long do you plan to be out here?
Oh, we're actually headed back to the car. Yeah.
You guys are fucking retarded, you know that?
Oh, man. So I had to play the weekend that we've seen. I needed to catch everybody up to see what our ICE agents are up against, because I got to set the parameter for tonight. The question we are asking everybody, and I'm about to put the poll up: should Pam Bondi be fired? Steven, you weren't here with us last week. What is your thoughts on the unfortunate shooting that happened in Minnesota and the protests against the ICE agents?
Woo! My thoughts on that are, first of all, it's unfortunate. First and foremost, extremely unfortunate. With the details that I've seen and what I personally know, it's just tough. I feel like I need to see a longer video of before, but I gotta give a general opinion. that goes to that personal one. I'm just not understanding Americans really getting involved with an agency that wants to take away illegal immigrants. Like, I just can't fathom me as an American seeing ICE and just being like, I gotta get involved. Like, I want them to do everything legally. I want them to operate by the book, of course. But as an American, I just don't understand that narrative. So I'm not trying to blame her for anything. I'm just saying that thought process is always tough for me to kind of like try to put myself in those shoes. But I do want to be clear, it's extremely unfortunate.
You muted, Nora.
It is extremely unfortunate, but unfortunately, to your point, this is what the ICE agents have been going up against. So I need to set the stage for this, and I'm going to let Enzo get in here because Enzo does the lives. For all year, we've been seeing ICE agents be attacked. All year, there's multiple clips. That's just one weekend of events that I'm showing you. So Enzo, what's your thoughts? Because this is a buildup, and this is why I'm talking about Pam Bondi tonight.
So my opinion on this entire situation is people need to mind their fucking business. They need to stay at home. They need to go be parents. They need to go to work, go do something else instead of obstructing law enforcement officers conducting their job. Cool. You want to protest? Stand on the side of the road. Stay over there. Don't park your car diagonally across the street. I've been saying it from the beginning since this all started. I go, this is going to escalate to a point where people are going to be dead. People are going to die. It's either going to be ICE agents or it's going to be civilians that are going to be unalive because of all this. And here we go. We have a perfect example of it. And people are over here crashing out and talking about the situation only because it's an ICE officer. That's it. You had a protester last night who was struck by a Tennessee state trooper. No one's talking about that. Protesting ICE. No one's talking about that. We're still over here talking about Renee Good like she was this upstanding citizen and that she did nothing wrong and that this is all ICE's fault. The precedence has already been set. If people would mind their business and not attack law enforcement, this wouldn't have happened. If people minded their business and didn't show up at ICE facilities trying to free these people, none of this would happen. If people weren't dumb enough to start shooting at ICE facilities, none of this would happen. None of these officers would have been on guard. If all that would have happened and she still would have did what she did, I guarantee you she wouldn't lost her life. She probably would have got away and they probably would have arrested her for it. But the precedence has already been set there for them to use lethal force of somebody who's trying to actively hurt them.
Yeah, but for me, where I'm at is I put it on Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi should have been cracking down on the protesters that are becoming violent. And we're going to talk about Pam Bondi's record tonight. We won't talk about the protesters. We'll talk about her record to be respectful. But where I'm at is Pam Bondi has failed. And we're going to look into that. This first clip right here that we're going to play, it shows her testifying and spying on senators from what we found out.
Yeah.
May I ask you a question?
If I can answer it, yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Are you going to hold a separate hearing on your whistleblower account of the FBI investigation of 8 United States senators?
I think we need, my answer to your question is I think we need to wait until we see what the FBI can report and whether it's necessary to have a hearing. Right now, I haven't ruled one out, but I haven't made a decision.
And what year do you think that will happen in?
I want the FBI to be a thorough investigation of it and report to us what information they can give us, and I don't know how long that'll take them.
With respect, are you giving them a certain period of time?
I have not given them a certain period of time. I'll discuss that matter with my staff and see if that needs to be done.
Okay, if civil suits are filed against the perpetrators at the FBI, will that facilitate your investigation?
Well, what's the question again?
If the 8 senators who were spied upon sue the hell out of the Department of Justice and the perpetrators involved, will that facilitate their investigation and or yours? I guess what I'm getting to is I don't understand why we don't have a separate hearing. I find this breathtaking.
It's just been 24 hours since the FBI investigated on it. Please give me an opportunity to sort.
So Kimberly, Now that we hear she's been spying on the Department of Justice, who she's controlling, she's over spying on Americans. What's your thoughts? Do you think Pam Bondi should be fired?
The oversight hearing was for. Can you explain that again?
So pretty much, that they're talking about 8 senators, which are American citizens, have been spied on by the Department of Justice. That has come out. They're saying that she's over that. They're holding her accountable, and that was what that clip was for.
And that but back to, you think she should be fired because she's not strong enough on the protesters?
Oh, 100%, yes. When the insurrectionists stormed the Capitol, right?
Mm-hmm.
They got
the rioters
10 years. They got 5 to 10 years.
They were over.
Why are these? Well, they were over prosecuted, but maybe that's what it's going to take, because people are losing their lives now. ICE agents are getting hurt. That guy that was involved, that poo-pewed that woman, he was dragged 30 feet a few months ago. So where I'm at right now is, if you don't have determined, if you don't have any type of like prosecutions or punishment for these people, there's no stopping them. And this is where we're at. People are getting hurt. People are dying right now. And it's not all just on the ISIS part. There has to be some accountability on these protesters. And the reality is, these protesters, a lot of them are being paid. They're being told to go to these places. They're being told to flick with these ICE agents. And tinfoil hat time, I wouldn't be surprised if that woman and her wife were told to do what they did. I don't think they thought she was going to get shot in the face, if we're going to be point blank. But I don't think it's right what happened to her. I think that was an overreach of what he did was overreach. I will say that. But at the same time, for months, they've been messed with. And that's why I'm blaming Pam Bondi, because Pam Bondi should be putting her foot down, and she should be prosecuting to the full extent of the law. Okay. People need to go sit in timeout. They need to go calm down. They want to go and flick with the ICE agents. They want to stop federal investigations. That's the punishment, the full extent of the law. Yes, I do think so at this point.
I think she should be fired because she's like one of the dumbest people I've ever seen in my life. If Pam Bondi can pass the bar, anybody can pass the bar. Honestly, please, like, take that as some type of encouragement. I know that a few months ago she was trying to say that hate speech and free speech are two different things, and then she went super woke and said she was going to start prosecuting people for hate speech after the Charlie Kirk assassination. That alone just tells me that she probably didn't pay attention in law school. With regards to her not prosecuting well, I guess you could call them now rioters, I could see both ways. I think we need to hold people who are putting themselves or in between, not just ICE agents, but law enforcement, putting themselves and others at risk, or but alike, I think we need to hold all police accountable for use of excessive force. So on both sides, I could see that as well. And then also with regards to her alleged Department of Justice spying on 8 citizens.
Senators, to be specific.
Okay. I am all for that. I think we should be consistent. Obama was also spying on the Trump campaign in 2016, and on and on and on. I have so many examples of just overreach and abuse of power from people in the government. There's so many different factions in the government, and they all want a bigger piece of what they already have at the expense of us and the laws. They're all breaking the law. I think if she did do that illegally, she should be held accountable. I think anybody in the government who is illegally surveilling or spying on anybody without a warrant should be held accountable as well.
No, I agree. That's a fair take. And to Kimberly's point, I'm going to play this clip and let the fellas get in here. So Kimberly, this clip is from, what happened to it? Let's see what they have to say about no arrests.
During Merrick Garland's first year as Attorney General, that he had arrested and prosecuted and charged over 335 political opponents, and yet Pam Bondi, to this day, her first year in office, has arrested 0. 335 to 0. Check this out. So I want to talk about this tweet that was just shared by Elon Musk, and it's from Wall Street Apes. And it's going to be a long video because I got to go over the number of Democrats that have been arrested under Republican-controlled government. So we'll start with the list. Name number one is nobody. Okay, now the long part. Let me get into the amount of Republicans who were arrested under the Biden administration in his first year. Donald Trump, Waltine, Carlos D'Arliano, Stephen K. Bannon, Peter Navarro, Thomas Brocker, Matt Grimes, Rudy Giuliani, Mark Meadows, John Eastman, Kenneth Chesebro, Sidney Powell, Jenna Ellis, Scott Graham, Sean Gull, Dave James, and honestly, I'm going to be here for the next 15 or 20 minutes because that's the entire list. Those are all the names, and that doesn't account. Let me remind you on this. This doesn't account for the 265 January 6th defendants that were already arrested within the first year of the Biden administration. So please forgive me. Please forgive me if I'm not jumping on the, oh, it's all the Democrats' fault bandwagon. Please forgive me if I'm not jumping on the, just give Pam Bondi a little bit more time bandwagon. Please forgive me if I'm not jumping on the, Dan Bongino went into the FBI and he came in there, he tore the place apart, he dismantled it from down to the last little bolt, and he put every screw by hand back together. And now the FBI is this uncorruptible organization. And my, oh my, how Dan Bongino is going to come back to the political podcasting realm just to be the MAGA police. And he's going to get rid of all those black pillars, and he's going to guarantee a W for Republicans in the midterms, because that's what democracy looks like, folks. This is it. This is the golden ages, baby, so they keep telling us. Let me know what you guys
I
So
totally
great.
forgot Epstein. She should be fired for mishandling the Epstein files. I totally forgot about that.
We'll get to there. Gray, what do you think about the fact that nobody's been arrested? This has been MAGA's thing. Where are the arrests every day? That, there's people on Xing. Today is January 13th, 2026, and no one has been arrested yet. What do you think? Is anyone going to be arrested?
I mean, MAGA is right there in black and white. What more do you need to see? The Republicans are being prosecuted because they're corrupt. The Democrats are not. It's right there in front of your face. The guy just showed you. So, I mean, like, do we really need more evidence? People are saying in comments, Republican crime syndicate. And then basically, I understand what Republicans want to defend the state and want to defend authority because you want things structured. But you also have to look at what people are doing and what the laws say. And that's why we have three branches of government. You had a judicial branch, an executive branch, and a legislative branch. It is completely out of context for the executive branch to be commenting on open cases. So that's why you're seeing all this stuff happen. The Democrats are able to get evidence and everything black and white, and that's why you're seeing it going through the judicial branch rather than just hoopla being said on social media. Is real evidence coming from the Democrats.
Stephen, I know you have to go soon. What's your thoughts on this?
The Pam Bondi, AG Pam Bondi, I try to respect people's titles. Again, it's one of those things where I got to be expansive. We all know President Donald Trump appointed people like that would do his will. And I think what he's done with the Attorney General's office, not even with Pam Bondi, the previous one as well, is he's really transformed this position to do his will and not strictly search for justice in general. And Pam Bondi is clearly only going to do whatever Trump says or not do whatever Trump says she better not do. And for that, I would say she needs to be fired. But if she is, Trump's just going to replace or try to get someone else appointed to maneuver the exact same way. So it's just, I just can't believe America has gotten to this point. And I don't think we're going to see someone, at least in this position, who's responsible to just search for justice every step of the way until Trump is out of office. So with Pam Bondi, yeah, I'm disappointed in her too, but I don't have high expectations for her whatsoever. And everybody knows the Epstein files are just, you can just go off that alone, let alone the zero arrest and all that. You can just go on that alone. The fact that she came out and said they're on her desk and all this and that, and then nothing, that alone you can go. So, hey.
Stephen, go ahead and do your closing thoughts.
Yeah, with the new party, I always appreciate you, Nord, Gray, Mars, and the whole team. I appreciate you all. And look, I'm gonna end it just how I started the video when you played that clip. That I'm a patriot, I'm an American, I want to see our country do well, and I think that starts with all of us being able to have conversations, no matter how we think ideologically or politically, as long as we know that we're all in it to see our fellow neighbor and fellow American do well, then we can have a conversation about anything without disrespect, without I ain't gonna say without argument or debate. That's part of the game. But as long as we want to see each other do well, and we all want to live to a certain standard where we're all safe, can raise our children safely, and have access to the best education, healthcare, blah, blah, blah. But that's what I'm about. The new party, you all are definitely about that, inviting different guests from different ends of the political spectrum. And that's why I love this platform. And I'm always going to show up whenever you call, even if I want to get something off my chest and say, hey, I want to come on next Tuesday, next Wednesday, let me on. But I appreciate you all. I'm always glad to be here.
This was great, Stephen. This
Stephen.
was great. Yes. I've seen the growth in your content. I'm so glad we met you. So anytime you want to come on, let us know. We are here Monday through Thursday, so you know how to find us. But thank you for coming, Stephen.
Appreciate it, bro.
Nice meeting you.
All love. Appreciate you all.
Have a good one.
Have a good night. All right, guys. So this goes to the next point. Going to Kim, you brought up something. I don't know what happened to my clips, but this is The View. It's a good clip on The View because The View is actually against her.
You guys are gonna love me. I hate The View.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm sorry. Do you like The View?
my favorite show.
Did
No,
I
I
read?
hate No, I hate that show.
Oh, that's the worst show ever.
But this is a good clip because Whoopi actually is on anti-censorship. Here we go.
Backlash from several prominent conservatives over her comments about free speech in the wake of Charlie Kirk's assassination. Take a look.
There's free speech and then there's hate speech. And there is no place, especially now, especially after what happened to Charlie in our society.
Do you see more law enforcement going after these groups who are using hate speech and putting cuffs on people so we show them that some action is better than no action?
We will absolutely target you, go after you if you are targeting anyone with hate speech, anything. And that's across the aisle.
So this morning, apparently, she clarified that she was talking about hate speech that leads to political violence.
Wow.
Now, there's no one that I know who thinks political violence is any kind of acceptable way to do anything.
Yes.
But Bondi is
thinking that
blurring the
too.
lines when it comes to
I can't
what
believe it. I want the
constitutes
pedophile.
hate speech, I think. And I just want to say, you know, I always thought that this administration campaigned on ending the weaponization of free speech. So I know
I'm serious.
there's
I
a
want
lot of
Matt
stuff
Gaetz.
people say that I don't like. I don't like it. But as an American, I have the right to say I don't like it. And they have the right to say it. I will fight for their right to say stuff I don't like, because I will say stuff they don't like, and I don't want them up my behind about it either. So I don't understand. You know?
Well, and I mean, it's important she clarified it because that was a complete misstating of the First Amendment. And you sort of just kind of quoted Voltaire there. There's a famous quote, well, that's attributed to Voltaire. I disapprove of what you say, but I will defend to the death your right to say it. That is what the First Amendment is all about. It's actually hate speech that is the most protected speech.
Yes.
The right to offend people in the public square. And listen, Donald Trump energized a lot of young people by running and campaigning.
So Kamal, I think you're for like free speech, right? Do you think that that she's anti-free speech? Do you think we should be concerned as Americans having her as the AG?
Man, she sounded anti free speech, but hey, free speech is like that one chick said on The View. You got the right to say whatever the F you want, to offend people, say what the hell you want. Shit, we getting offended right now by Mike Anderson. Here, you see his comment? If you ain't old enough to remember the Gulf War, I'm not listening to you. Well, take your old ass somewhere then. Shit, free speech right there. You ain't got to listen to us because I'm not old enough to remember the goddamn Gulf War. You feel me? So, is she anti-free speech? Possibly. Hey, my thing is, how the hell she ain't arrest nobody though? She done did a worse job than the mall cop, Paul Burt. At least he arrested somebody at the end of the damn movie. God damn, she zero arrest? None? Goodness. Well, maybe she is doing her job. I don't know. Shit.
Enzo, as the Republican on the line, should we fire Pam Bondi and why, to your point?
Yeah. I've been saying it for months. We should get rid of Pam Bondi. We could start with not even just the no arrest. I'm going to go with the indictments that were put out there. What happened to Letitia James? What happened to Comey? Those are open shut. Letitia James, she charged Donald Trump with exactly what she was doing. How could we not get a conviction on that? How could we not even get that to court? Oh, because they had a technicality. Who they appointed to be on that case, the prosecutor in that case. Pam Bondi, you should have fucking known this. You should have known exactly every tactic the Democrats were going to throw at them. Also, yeah, sure. Throw in the fucking the Epstein debacle. If she would have just shut her mouth and said, they're on my desk, we wouldn't even be in this fucking mess that we are. I don't even think really anybody would care until Pam Bondi said it, because Donald Trump never even said he was going to release the files to begin with. She had to open her mouth with that. What else? Being harsher on a lot of people, cracking down on certain things like she did, and she hasn't done anything. She's on Fox News more than she's in her office. Like, what are you doing? You haven't done anything. And even Donald Trump is at this point where he's fed up with her performance too. It's just literally a matter of days until he fires her. Like this, we literally had weaponization of the DOJ for 4 years under Biden. Yeah, they had 300 arrests. They had 300 indictments that went out. Now let's look at convictions. What did they get those people with? Oh, the majority of them? Oh, tax evasion. That's what they got them with. Not corruption, not collusion, tax evasion. That's what they got them on. That's why Rudy Giuliani got his bar taken away. That's why who's the other one? The big one. The whole Russian collusion stuff. That's what they got all those people on. This is not about corruption. The real corruption's out of office already. It's either Pam Bondi sucks at her fucking job, and that's why there hasn't been any arrests so far, or they're actually investigating it, so it's a watertight deal when it comes through. My hopes on that, and is my bet on that? Absolutely not. I'm just going to say she's fucking incompetent and get her out of office. So.
And this clip, I want to show you guys how bad it is regarding Pam Bondi and the Epstein files. Like, nothing is going to be done. Let's watch. It's really quick.
That's been a directive by President Trump.
Sorry, guys. Here we go.
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president.
So pretty much they're saying less than 1% of the files have been released. Gray, we covered a lot of Trump's speeches. I can't find it, but I know I heard it. Did Trump ever talk about the Epstein files in his speech? Am I crazy, or did we see him talk about it?
I can't say that for a fact that Trump said that. But there's a viral video there on TMZ where Trump just got called out for protecting a pedophile, and he flicked the guy off. So it's obviously getting to Trump. So I'm not for a fact sure that Trump said that or not. So I'm not gonna put that on Trump. But as far as him firing Pam Bondi, I don't think it's a good idea. Trump's first administration, he was firing someone every week. It was completely chaotic. People were just like, Trump has zero control. Trump approval rating is now 36%. I feel like the people Trump has around him now at least attempt to try and like say, Trump, that's not good, or let's do this. If he gets rid of her and gets somebody that's just going to listen to him, it'll be way, way, way worse.
Kimberly, you shook your head. Didn't Trump say this is going to be the most transparent administration ever? And he talked about the Epstein files, but they scrubbed the internet. You can't find no clips. I know what I heard.
He did, and on the campaign trail, and he talked about JFK files too. And then when they asked him about it again, like 4 months ago, that was him backtracking and taking back what he had said about the Epstein files. And he said, similarly, JFK, he said, we don't want to implicate people. It might implicate people who are still alive or something like that. It was really stupid. But no, you're not crazy. I remember that.
He never mentioned releasing the files.
Yes, he
asked,
did. He was asked
Yes, he
about
did.
It was asked one time. I've gone through hours and hours and hours of footage from his campaign rallies, from his interviews on the campaign trail. I can find one single time that he was asked about the Epstein files. That was the only mention of the Epstein files on his campaign trail, was the ABC interview where they asked him, are you going to declassify the JFK files? Yes. The MLK files? Yes. The RFK files? Yes. What about the Epstein files? Yes. I don't know. Maybe we'll have to take a look at that. That's the only mention of it, and he never gave a definitive yes if he was going to release them, and he never said, when I become president, like he did with the JFK, RFK, and MLK, that when I become president, I will release the Epstein files. Never said that on the
And
campaign.
why is so many MAGA turning their back on him then, Enzo?
Because he
of
filled his
Bondi.
cabinet with a lot of Epstein file, like Dan Bongino, and Cash Patel.
They're the
who were,
ones
like,
who talked
hard
about
on
it.
Epstein. So
Yeah.
he was throwing a lot of like dangling carrots, and he implied it more than
They're
once.
the
He never
ones-
said
they're
it
the
out,
ones who
but
said
he
it,
did
though.
imply it more than once on
Okay.
the campaign trail and at the beginning as well. Like when Pam Bondi said she had it on her desk, and then they sent a bunch of influencers to the White House and gave them a binder full of things that we already had. So yeah,
She fucked up.
Yeah,
That's her.
well, she works for him.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's her. She could have shut her mouth until everything was complete and ready to go. That's her
And-
fault, not his.
I mean,
She's
we
not
have
this
another Republican here that talks about Pam Bondi's job on the Epstein files, Tucker Carlson. Let's see what he had to say.
But how can you say that thousands of children were raped, but I'm not going to find out who raped them?
Yeah.
How can you say that?
I agree completely.
They said that. By the way, when Pam Bondi went on television and said, I have a videotape of kids getting abused, I followed this case closely, and I know a lot of the people involved, as I've told you.
Mhm.
I had no idea. I didn't know that. Really? Thousands of children got raped?
Yeah.
Who raped them? Where are the rapists? Like, why aren't they in jail? What? This
For
is the
life.
Department of Justice.
Yes.
That is so crazy. This is honestly one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my entire life. And I just think it's very dangerous to play around with this stuff. Like, very dangerous.
Well,
I don't want a revolution, but if you wanted a revolution, this is how you would act.
Yes, yeah.
But how can you say that thousands of
Oh, Lord. So, Kamal, as somebody that's apolitical, what's your thoughts on Pam Bondi? Should she be fired?
Yeah, I've been sitting there. First of all, hey, y'all in the chat, y'all funny, man, because it was how Enzo, you just got done speaking, and then somebody in the chat is, we have just found another libtard station. I'm like, Enzo, he's not
What?
Right? That's what I'm saying. I'm like, bro, people in the chat to say anything, bro. It's like, God damn. But is Pam Bondi a DEI hire?
I think so.
Uh-oh. You know, Trump was
Bring the
cutting
white
DEI.
man. I want a white man. Bring the white man. Time to bring the white man.
Let me confirm exactly. He has some type of a connection. I can't remember exactly right now off the top of my head. I wish I was smart enough to remember things like that. But she was hired for a very specific reason. She was also linked to another case because she's from Florida.
Trayvon Martin.
Yeah, I'm gonna get back to you guys on that one because there's.
What's she doing with Trayvon Martin?
I don't know about Trayvon Martin, but there was another case.
Look it up.
Maybe you're right. I just know that she was connected to fraud in the state, and that's another conversation for another day. I don't feel like getting into her because I was researching for the show. So yeah, that's the connection I saw. The criticism of her, allegedly, that was the criticism I found, and yeah.
Yeah, she was the AG who helped bring in a special outside prosecutor in the Trayvon Martin case.
Yeah,
I
sorry,
know that one.
I'm smarter than you.
I was pregnant during that time. I had pregnancy brain. I wasn't focused on the case, but and I didn't want to hear about it being pregnant. It was kind of like traumatizing. It was right up the road from where I lived at the time.
I was a freshman in high school at that time. I wasn't paying attention to politics.
So wait a minute. So all of us on the panel except Gray says that Pam Bondi should be fired, correct?
Yes, except the Democrat. Blame the Democrat.
Only one.
But Gray just thinks she shouldn't be fired because then it would be messy, right?
My thought process on her being fired is Trump's first administration. Look at Trump's first AG, Jeff Sessions. Jeff Sessions was a known racist. He was a senator in Alabama. All of this crazy stuff with Jeff Sessions. I did not like Jeff Sessions at all. I hated that Trump picked this person. Then Trump had a massive fallout with Jeff Sessions, and I was like, okay, great. Then Trump went on to get Bill Barr, and Bill Barr would later on turn on Trump. So MAGA shouldn't want that either, because Trump has been through this show before where his AG turned against him. So my thought process is that if Trump goes and tries to get another person, either that person is not going to be with what MAGA wants, or that person is going to do everything Trump wants. And that now Pam Bondi is the poison that we know. So why take the risk?
I'm going to get back to you guys on that, but she actually, I can't remember what case I'm thinking about, but there's a Trump connection. She like pardoned somebody or did something in Florida.